Hey guys, so today we're making macaroni and cheese. You just saw me boiling the noodles. The recipe calls for macaroni noodles that you break. I can't find those, so I'm just using elbow pasta. And this recipe is from 1936, so we'll see how it tastes. So it's a little bit strange how you make this. It makes you mix the spices together, and it's dried mustard, salt, and pepper, and it doesn't specify how much salt and pepper to use in this, so you'll just have to do it to taste. And then you mix those with a little bit of the milk, and then you add it to the recipe later on. So I don't know why it has you do it this way. I thought it was a little strange, but this is what it has you do, and I will make sure to put the recipe for you guys down below in the description box so you'll have that. And Dan's power washing the vehicle, so hopefully you don't hear that, but if you do, that's what that sound is. So let's get going on this. Okay, so I'm putting my hot drained pasta into a mixing bowl, and there it goes. And if any of you know where I can find that type of macaroni, please let me know, because I want to try it, and I notice all these old recipes call for it. And in goes my milk and spice mixture. I think this is just kind of an odd way of doing it, and I'm not sure why it has you do it this way. So the recipe calls for shredded American cheese. I just bought American cheese slices and diced it up because the deli was very busy and I didn't feel like asking to get some of it cut. You could probably use whatever type of cheese you want, but I'm just following the recipe. In goes the rest of the milk, and at this point I'm pretty skeptical. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't make macaroni and cheese this way, but we shall see how it turns out. Okay, so I am greasing a casserole dish, and I will have to look and see what size I used. I don't remember off the top of my head. And in goes the mixture, just like that. There it goes, right in that casserole dish. And so you're going to bake this in the oven until the cheese melts, and you'll see, I think I ended up, at the end of the time that it was in the oven, I stirred it to really kind of distribute, because I had spots of melted cheese and then spots of just moist pasta. It was a little weird. And then I'm topping the rest of this. I forgot to mention earlier, I only put half of the cheese in with the pasta. The other half is going on top. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Okay, so in it goes, right into the oven. And again, until that cheese is melted and everything's nice and hot. I don't know if I filmed myself stirring it up, but that's what I did. I stirred it up to get that cheese distributed. So let's just see how this is. All right, macaroni and cheese time, guys. Here it comes. Nice and hot. You can see all that beautiful cheese melted on top. Take a good look. I'm giving you a close-up here. And I can't remember if this is when I stirred it. Yes, see, I realized this is kind of weird because it's super milky and it's cheesy in spots and then really milky. Look at that. It's not a sauce at all. So I thought I really don't know about this. So I stirred the heck out of it, and it did start to come together. Now, if you use another type of cheese other than American cheese, I don't know how that will turn out. Again, I typically make my macaroni and cheeses by boiling the noodles and then making a white sauce and putting cheese in that. I've never made it like this before, and I thought it was, I don't know if I would ever do it again. But I stirred it and stirred it and stirred it, and it did start to come together as a cheese sauce. So I was happy about that, but the recipe didn't tell you to stir. I just was trying to salvage it at this point, to be honest. And so I really, really didn't have high hopes for this. I was, really trying to give this recipe the benefit of the doubt. It's pretty liquidy. If you like super saucy macaroni and cheeses, you'll probably like this recipe because the milk makes it super saucy. But again, if you use a different type of cheese other than American cheese, I don't know how it'll turn out. So let's see how it tastes. All right, Dan. Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys. So what do we have here, Molly?
Okay, so
macaroni and cheese, huh?
This is macaroni and cheese. This is better macaroni and cheese. That's what the recipe's called.
It's pretty
liquidy.
Pretty liquidy.
So let's see how it tastes.
Okay, well.
It's not bad.
It's really good.
It's really not bad. I really, when I pulled it out of the oven, I was like, there was a lot of milk because it didn't have you make a sauce. I was like, oh God, this is going to really suck. So I stirred it. The recipe didn't say to stir it.
It's really good.
I kept it in the oven for probably about 15, 20 minutes. And the oven was at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I just stirred it really well. It's really not bad. You probably don't need as much milk as the recipe calls for. But if you like, it's because it's pretty soupy. But so maybe you could cut back to like 3/4 cup of milk instead of the full cup. But it's really pretty good.
I think it's delicious.
Yeah.
I think I'd like it a little bit more if it had like a thick layer of like cheese on the top, like a crust.
Well, there was a layer of cheese on the top, but when I pulled it out of the oven, it was not mixed with the milk. It did not make a sauce, so I just stirred it. And so because I thought this is weird, and so stirring it definitely I would recommend, and then I would recommend either adding a little bit more pasta to maybe have it be less soupy, or reducing the amount of milk. But it's got great flavor. I mean, it's American cheese. So if you like American cheese, you could probably use whatever kind of cheese you want. But it's really, I was surprised. I was really skeptical. But this recipe comes from the Sunsets Hostess Handbook, which is from 1936. And it called for macaroni. And I think macaroni noodles used to or can come in long tubes that you snap into smaller pieces. And so that's the type of macaroni this recipe calls for. I have never seen that for sale in the stores around me. And so I just used elbow macaroni because that's what I can always find. So it seemed to turn out, maybe it would have been a little bit different had I had the correct macaroni that they called for. But I mean, it worked with elbow macaroni, and I think it's pretty good. It didn't specify the amount of salt or pepper, so I just kind of eyeballed those. Yeah, and the only other seasoning in this is dry mustard.
It's delicious.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
I really like it. It's a 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up from Dan. All right, well there you go. Better macaroni and cheese from 1936. That's what it's like. All right, so if you guys want to see more vintage recipes, then make sure you like and subscribe, and Dan and I will see you in the next video.
And click the bell for notifications.
Good job.
Thanks. I try.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.